Hi again. I wanted to talk a little bit about like rudiments, like double stroke rolls, single stroke rolls. You know, just for fun, just talking about different stuff. One roll that I really wanted to talk about first, I know this is skipping ahead of a lot of beginner advice, jargon, whatever you want to call it. Skipping ahead a lot, but my favorite roll of all time is the inverted six-stroke roll. It is a variation of the six-stroke roll, obviously. It's just inverted. The six-stroke roll sticking is... sloppy. Wow, that is really sloppy. I apologize. Yeah, it's you know, that's how it is. But that's a six-stroke roll. The inverted six-stroke roll, I think sounds a lot cooler. It goes like this. A drummer that uses this roll quite often, and he's honestly one of my favorite drummers of all time, Travis Barker. Love him or hate him, I really don't care. Honestly, though, I've seen the guy play in many different videos, and regardless of what you think, in my opinion, he does have very, very good technique. He's a very solid drummer. You know, I'm not going to go into this whole spiel about Travis Barker, but he's a really great drummer. He's a very, very good drummer, and he's very creative, and he's got a lot of cool ideas. And he plays the six-stroke roll a lot, and a lot of stuff that he does, especially live. I've noticed in a lot of different videos, just random, you know, even when he's doing like the hip-hop stuff, he does a lot of six-stroke rolls. You know, he'll just like for example, you know, just like a fill. It sounds cool, you know. It's like. Stuff like that. And one thing that's really cool about this roll is, as I mentioned in the shuffle video I made, because the shuffle is like a continuation, you know, just can keep going and going and going, and it'll never stop. There's no ending to it if you don't want there to be. It's the same thing with the six-stroke roll. Same thing with like the paradiddle. You know, paradiddle. Really warmed up right now. I'm not going to try to make an excuse though. That was slop, but you know, you get the idea. Now, what's also really cool about the six-stroke roll is the fact that if you lead with your left hand, you can make a totally different sounding fill if you add a different drum in with the snare. Like, you're both leading with two different hands, and they both sound the same when you play them just on the snare, but if you play them on different drums, it makes it really cool. If you start with your left hand and go to the tom, as opposed to if you start with your right hand and go to the tom, it sounds totally different. Like, notice, you know, that's leading with the left hand, leading with the right hand. You can just make totally different variations, you know, like. It's really hard to do that. For me, but something I really like doing a lot is like. Taking turns on each tom, you know, going from. So, you know, it's just really cool. It's fun to do. The sticking for the 6-stroke roll, if you don't know, is if you're starting with your right hand, it's right, left, left, right, right, left, and you're accenting on these single strokes of each roll. So. You're accenting on that, and then if you want to start with your left hand. Obviously, it's the complete opposite. You know, it's just left, right, right, left, left, right. So that's just one roll in your repertoire you can use. It just sounds really cool. It's really good for solo situations, you know, like. Ways of you know, just messing with different stuff. Another really cool roll is the Paradiddle, which is really simpler than the 6-stroke roll. It's one of the basic rudiments you should learn right away. It's right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, and the easiest way to remember that is on the sticking hand that's playing the same 2 notes together is the diddle. So it's paradiddle, paradiddle. So the diddle is always on the same hand twice, if that makes any sense. You know, paradiddle, paradiddle. You know, the diddle is always with the same hand. So. You can come up with a lot of different variations that way. I like playing the paradiddle and the 6-stroke roll together. I think it just sounds really cool. I use this as a warm-up, actually, just like. You know, there's a lot of variations, but it's definitely something that you want to learn. The paradiddle is not something you want to not have in your arsenal, I guess you could say. Same thing with, you know, you can play the paradiddle, literally the same sticking the whole time and come up with a cool drum beat, you know, like. Obviously not as sloppy as the way I'm doing it, but, you know, you get the idea. You can come up with your own variations. But again, the paradiddle is something you want to learn. Another thing is just your double stroke rolls. Those are straightforward. Those are just right, right, left, left, and they continue. Doing. There's something you need to know your double stroke roll, because pretty much every roll that has a double in it involves using technique with the double stroke roll. So it's something you need to learn. And it's something I need to practice because I'm really sloppy right now. So I apologize for that. You also want to practice your dynamics, making sure they're really... and, you know, speeding them up, obviously. Going from quiet to, you know, loud, you know. Just, you know, messing around with stuff like that. And then obviously the single stroke roll. That's something you want, obviously, to know. But one thing I wanted to talk about the single stroke roll is accenting. One thing this guy told me at this drum shop a long time ago was the fact that he asked me a question. He said, do you think you can come up with more accenting combinations with single strokes or double strokes? And for whatever reason I said double strokes. This was a long time ago, but it's actually single strokes. You can come up with so many different accenting techniques with the single stroke roll. I'm going to use Travis Barker again for an example. Sorry if you hate Travis Barker, but the guy's a really great drummer, and he's got a lot of cool ideas, you know. And there's a song called Go by Blink-182, and that's a really good example of accenting on the snare, at least. And I'm going to paraphrase here, or musically speaking, what he does there. I can't remember exactly what he does, but it goes something like this. Again, I'm not preaching that this is exactly how he plays it, but it goes something like this. Something like that, you know, it's just some kind of... lines, but practicing your accents. Really so, you know, it makes things sound really cool, like when you're doing fills, just even with like a basic drum beat. Oops. Honestly, just mess around with accents, mess around with double stroke rolls, you know, just have fun with it, and you know, practice, you'll get better. So that's all I really have for right now. Sorry if that wasn't super informative, but you know, it's just messing around with stuff. So, you know, have fun with it. If you have any questions, let me know. Send me some feedback if you like, good or bad. And, you know, let's get to talking. Yeah! Alright, guys.